Hey, welcome to another video on Expected Value Lotto, where we look at Georgia Lottery scratch tickets and their expected values or payouts. But in this video, we're looking at the Texas Lottery, and we're looking at some actual play on their scratch tickets. And so the question in this video is, what is the return on $6,973 worth of Texas Lottery scratch tickets? And in this video, we are following a really popular YouTube scratcher, Fixin' to Scratch, and the reason that I like to follow him is because he's very clear on how much he's spending. He's very clear on how much he wins, and I also feel like he's really honest about winning and losing. Like, I don't feel like he is making a video and then if he does bad, make another video for that day. I think that what you see is what you get with him, and so I feel like it's a good representation of what's really happening with the scratcher play in Texas. And so in this video, before we answer our big question, we're going to look at his play here in July. And so, what I do is I watch every video that he posts every day, and then I just keep notes on how much he spends, how much he wins, and then kind of compile all those numbers. And so in July, he spent $3,405. That is a lot of money on scratch tickets. And so we want to know, how much did he win in July? So let's go through and kind of look 5 days at a time and see how he did. And you can see he started off the month pretty bad with a pretty big loss here on July 5th. He finished out the first 5 days with a $255 loss, and he had only won 57% of his money back. That's lower than what I would expect on scratch tickets. Normally, I would expect for a normal person to win back about 65% of their money, give or take a percent or two. Then the next 5 days, he did have a couple profit sessions. July 8th, he pulled a 37% profit, and then on July 10th, he got a $105 profit, which really helped his overall percentage. You can see he only lost he was at minus 255, so he only lost $7 in the next 5 days, and that raised his win percentage raised it up to 74%. So he was making 74% of his money back as of July 10th. Going through the 11th through the 15th, he had another pretty big profit session on the 13th, profit of $165, which is what you want to see, of course. And then he had some pretty medium kind of loss days. He did lose a little bit more money, but not much. He was at a loss of $292 after the first 15 days, and he was still at 81%. That's pretty good when you're doing scratch tickets. Of course, you want a profit, but 81% back is not bad at all. And so let's look at the next 5 days. July 16th through July 20th, he had one profit day, profit of $58. However, that did not quite keep up with his losses over these 5 days. So by July 20th, he was down by $395, but he was still at about 81% of his money back. So still doing pretty good throughout July. Now we see the next 5 days, he had a pretty big streak of losses, and this continues through the end of the month. So July 21st through 25, he did pretty bad, lost a lot of money. By the 25th, he was down by $665. So that was he almost doubled his loss just in these 5 days, and that brought him down to a 75% payout on the tickets that he had played. Then he had one kind of small profit day, $30 on July 27th, and that was it for the month. So the end of the month was really a tough 10 or 11 days for Fixin' to Scratch. And you can see on the 28th and the 30th, he had pretty significant losses, $71 and $75, and he ended the month with a total loss of $902 out of the over $3,000 that he spent, with his payout at around 73%. Now, that again is not a whole lot better, but it is better than I would have expected. So a couple things to notice. Over the course of the month, he had 5 profit sessions. It's definitely not as good as he did in June. He had a really good month in June. He had 10 profit sessions in June, with a couple of like really nice hits. He didn't really have many great hits in July, and so that's why his return was a lot lower. Here, number two, the expected return on $3,405, if you consider about a 65% return rate, would be about $2,200. He actually returned $2,500 for 73%. So he did, even though he lost $900, he still did better than I think most people would have done playing that amount of money, playing $3,400 worth of tickets. And so the big question is, what was the expected return over the 2 months on almost $7,000 worth of tickets? Mike, at a return rate of 65%, you would expect to see back about $4,500. His actual return is over $6,000. And so over the course of 2 months, he's lost $917, with almost all of that being this month in July. His June month, he only lost like $15 over the whole month, which was really, really good. And his actual return rate over these 2 months is about 86%, which again is quite a bit better than the 65% that I would expect from somebody just going out and playing random tickets. Now, he does have some strategies that he uses, and he has a video about that I would encourage you to watch. And so, I don't know if you'd consider him to be a professional scratch ticket, professional scratcher, but he's as close as you're going to get to a professional scratcher. And so, kind of listening to him and how he does it will kind of give you some insight into how he plays with only an 86%, or I guess 14% loss, rather than a 35% loss. And really, this is what you want to happen, just a 14% loss, if you're playing for the jackpot, which is, I think, what most of us are doing. And so yeah, he's been doing pretty good over the last 2 months. Not as good in this, in July as he did in June, but still pretty good overall. Over the 2 months, he lost $917, which would be hard for a lot of average people to swallow. But he's making money on YouTube with his videos and stuff like that. I don't know how much he makes, but his total loss may be paid for by what he makes on YouTube. It's quite a bit better than I would have expected, and I think it is important to note that this number, this 86%, is being propped up by a couple, maybe like 3 or 4 pretty big wins in June. So, if he hadn't won, say he hadn't won that $500 in June, this number would be a lot lower. So that is something to consider when you look at these numbers. But anyways, just wanted to kind of share this. I think it's really interesting, and I do think it's important that everybody knows, even with somebody like Fixin' to Scratch, who's really has done this a whole lot, way more than most of us have done it, and who has strategies that he uses, he's still losing, and it's not a little. He's lost over $900 just in 2 months. So just be careful when you play. Play responsibly, and have fun doing it. So, anyways, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.